Hiya folks, Fuzz here, and I'm back with more Monster Hunter World. And in this episode we're going to be taking on this optional quest, Chew the Fat, and it seems to be the first optional quest that becomes available after you complete the first story quest. As before, we have to kill Jagras for this objective, but instead of killing 7 we only have to kill 2. Now, the big difference between this and the story quest that we just did is that the Jagras in this quest are the giant variety and are therefore much harder. And indeed, this is actually quite a challenge, which is good because it's still early on in the game, so I've got high hopes as to just how much thought we're really going to have to put into some of the upcoming levels. Because this one took me probably about 40 minutes just to kill the 2 Jagras, and I could do it faster now that I've done it the first time. There's probably things I've learned from this particular attempt, and I will edit out a lot of the rubbish for me just going around exploring so you can really see what it was that I did in order to get the level completed. So the Jagras themselves, the giant ones that we need to kill, are really obvious. You can see one just up ahead there. They kind of look like toads, don't they? They've got that kind of inflated stomach area. And we basically just need to, well, kill them, quite frankly. And despite using the great sword in the last episode, the Buster Sword, I thought I'd change things up again, so I've gone for one of the bolt guns for this particular, or the bolt bows, whatever they're called. My mind's gone blank. Anyway, I've gone for a ranged weapon on this occasion. So I'm not sure exactly how it was going to play out, but it seemed to do the job, even though the damage wasn't absolutely fantastic. It was nice being able to just hold back a little bit at range so that you got more time to just evade attacks, etc, etc. So I'm just going to follow the green stuff to get to the enemies themselves, and we're going to have to take them on one at a time. There was many other groups of enemies as well, which I did take care of off the video. But there's also, just a warning for you, a giant T-Rex thing that walks all over the place. And that guy is hard, so I really would just avoid him if at all possible. But it seems the Jagrasaurus and ran off. Either that or he saw some dinner up ahead and ran off for that. And I love the animations of these guys. If you actually watch them from afar as they eat their prey, they literally swallow them whole. You know, it's really impressive stuff. I really do like it. But anyway, needs must be done, and we have to kill this thing, so I'm going to start firing at it. And it seems that they are quite armoured, but their soft, fleshy tummies are definitely more vulnerable to damage. At least that's what I discovered as I fought this thing. So try and aim for those in order to get the kill a little bit faster. Now, fortunately, the target is quite wide, since, as I said, those stomachs are inflated. So just wait for them to lift their heads up and just hit it with everything you've got. As a bit of a trend that I've noticed already over the last level or 2 or 3, the enemies do like to run away once they get to low health. So be prepared to have to chase these things before you actually manage to get in the killing blows. I'm sure it's possible to kill them before they run away, but I just don't seem to have the damage to do that right at this particular moment in time, unfortunately. And watch out for those rolls as well. Yeah, you don't want to be on the receiving end of that, quite frankly. I would have loved to have been able to test out the multiplayer, but unfortunately the network is down at the moment, which is really typical. The game has literally just come out today, and it's not the fault of the developers of Monster Hunter, but it's actually Sony's PlayStation network as a whole is having outages at the moment, and a lot of games are suffering for it, including this one. So I did try and sort out some multiplayer, but I just kept getting errors, and then when I did some research, I saw that sign, that notice from Sony, saying that, yeah, it's not going to be happening at the moment, unfortunately. So I chased back up with the foe, and it's brought some friends to help it this time, but I'm just going to pretty much ignore them and just keep chasing after it. Unfortunately, this tight enclosed space isn't the best area to try and fight this thing in, since it does make it harder to evade. So it is a good idea to try and draw out the enemy, if at all possible, before actually, you know, trying to take it down. And don't forget as well, we do have to kill 2 of these things, and that does involve having to hunt the second one down once you've killed the first one. So just keep an eye on the timer. You've probably got plenty of time. I think I must have had about 25-30 minutes left, but no, about 20 minutes left at the end. So it did feel longer than it actually was, quite frankly. But there's the first one, and we'll definitely want to loot the corpse and harvest it. for the giant scales or whatever it is that it gives us here. So it'd be nice to be able to upgrade our weapons. And then a little bit of running around, and I managed to find the second one. So we'll get that targeted as well, so that we don't lose track of it, which is very easily done. You can use the R3 button on PS4 once you've got an enemy in your sights, and you'll keep a crosshair on it even if it runs out of your line of sight. So then you obviously know how to track it down. Just makes things a little bit easier, quite frankly, with these guys just running all over the place. And as I did mention, actually, it is worth repeating, just keep an eye out for the giant T-Rex style dinosaur that wanders this area, because he can creep up on you. In fact, he did to me, and I had to run away from him and come back into the battle once I've managed to lose track of him. It was a bit of a nuisance, because he literally has the ability to like kill you with a single bite if you're not paying attention. But I'll be interested in coming back to this particular level once I've managed to upgrade some weapons and armour and what have you. So that's one of the good things, of course, about Monster Hunter. In general, the series, all of the games, including this one, is that levels that are a little bit challenging, you can come back to a little bit later on and just blitz through them and just see how much more powerful you become by upgrading your gear and whatnot. And it's certainly something I'm looking forward to doing. So this monster runs away, surprise, surprise, so it's time to start chasing after it. And he decides he wants to fight on the cliff edge for a little bit, so I've got to be careful not to fall off here. And I don't think this one's eaten, since it doesn't seem quite as fatty or filled up as the last one, does it? Which is interesting, because it means I've got a smaller surface area to try and attack here in order to kill it. And I think it actually made quite a big difference. This monster was actually substantially trickier, I thought, than the last one. So you can actually work that into your tactics, you know, letting the creature eat in order to fatten it up before you actually go in for the kill. Unfortunately, I do get paralysed here, but it's not too bad, because so does the enemy, so it can't exactly come and kill me while I can't move. However, likewise, I couldn't take advantage of the fact that it too was paralysed. Anyway, I think it's running off again, yes, so we need to go and chase after it. And it's not happy at the moment. Pretty sure it goes and tries to get some friends at this point. And it's a bit tricky trying to shoot it while it's running away. You're better off, in my opinion, just chasing after it. And then wait for it to stop running before finishing it off. Anyway, it's just really about now getting in the final few blows. And then that will be this particular quest completed. So we got it dazed there, which gives us a few opportunities to get some damage in. It looks like it's eating something now, doesn't it? Just keep blasting away. And we've done it. So that's the quest completed. Fantastic stuff. And you get a nice amount of money for completing this quest. But it's important, of course, to loot, so I'll make sure I do that before finishing up. And then we'll go and get our rewards. So yeah, this quest was called Chew the Fat. If you do this quest yourself, guys, I keep saying quest, it should be hunt really. If you do this hunt yourself, let me know how you found it in the comment section. And what you thought of it. But once you've done it for the first time, you have to do, well, you don't have to, but you get pointed to do some research stuff as well, just to learn the system, I think. But I also got a trophy unlocked for completing this particular hunt here. There we go. And this was the guy I ran over to just to look at the research. Just over here. But anyway then, folks, I'm going to finish off this episode at this point, so don't forget to leave a like and a comment if you've enjoyed watching. And please be subscribed to the FuzzfingerGaming YouTube channel as well. But anyway, guys, I'm checking out for now, so go and get some dinner, I think. Take care, folks. I'll see you soon.